New Jersey is a state located in both the Mid-Atlantic and northeastern regions of the United States. Located at the geographic hub of the heavily urbanized northeast megalopolis, it is bordered to the northwest, north, and northeast by New York State, on its east, southeast, and south by the Atlantic Ocean, on its west by the Delaware River and Pennsylvania, and on its southwest by Delaware Bay and Delaware. At 7,350 for square miles, 19,050 square kilometers, New Jersey is the fifth smallest state in land area. As of the 2024 U.S. Census estimate, it had a population of 9.5 million, its highest ever and the 11th most populous in population in the nation. The state capital is Trenton, and the state's most populous city is Newark. New Jersey is the only U.S. state in which every county is deemed urban by the U.S. Census Bureau. It is the most densely populated U.S. state. New Jersey was first inhabited by Paleo-Indians as early as 13,000 BCE. The Lenape were the dominant indigenous group when Europeans arrived in the early 17th century, and they were subdivided into dialectal groups, such as the Munsee in the north, and the Anami and the Unalachtigo elsewhere. 9-10 Dutch and Swedish colonists founded the first European settlements in the state, 11 with the British later seizing control of the region and establishing the province of New Jersey, named after Jersey. 1213. The colony's fertile lands and relative religious tolerance drew a large and diverse population. New Jersey was among the 13 colonies that supported the American Revolution, hosting several pivotal battles and military commands in the American Revolutionary War. New Jersey remained in the Union during the American Civil War and provided troops, resources, and military leaders in support of the Union Army. After the war, the state emerged as a major manufacturing center and a leading destination for immigrants, helping drive the Industrial Revolution in the U.S. New Jersey was the site of many industrial, technological, and commercial innovations. 14. Many prominent Americans associated with New Jersey have proven influential nationally and globally, including in academia, advocacy, business, entertainment, government, military, nonprofit leadership, and other fields. New Jersey's central location in the northeast megalopolis helped fuel its rapid growth and suburbanization in the second half of the 20th century. Since the beginning of the 21st century, the state's economy has become highly diversified, with major sectors including biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, information technology, finance, and tourism, and it has become an Atlantic seaboard epicenter for logistics and distribution. New Jersey remains a major destination for immigrants and is home to one of the world's most multicultural populations. Echoing historical trends, the state has increasingly re-urbanized, with growth in cities outpacing suburbs since 2008. 17. New Jersey is one of the most educated, diverse, and highly developed states in the U.S., ranking high among states in several quality of life metrics. 18. New Jersey had a median household income of $99,781 as of 2023, the second highest of any U.S. state behind Massachusetts. Almost 1/10 of all households in the state, or over 323,000, are millionaires, the highest representation of millionaires among all states. 20. New Jersey's public school system consistently ranks at or among the top of all U.S. states. 21-20 to 23-24. In 2024, New Jersey was ranked as having the second healthiest population overall. 25. New Jersey ranks near the top on both the American Human Development Index and the Standard Human Development Index. According to climatology research by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, New Jersey has been the fastest warming state by average air temperature over a 100-year period beginning in the early 20th century, which has been attributed to warming of the North Atlantic Ocean. 26. History. The pressure of collision between North America and Africa gave rise to the Appalachian Mountains. Around 18,000 years ago, the Ice Age resulted in glaciers that reached New Jersey. As glaciers retreated, they left behind Lake Passaic along with rivers, meadows, swamps, and gorges. 27 Since the 6th millennium BC, Native American people have inhabited New Jersey, beginning with the Lenape tribe. Shakopee is the Lenape name for the land that represents present-day New Jersey. 28 The Lenape were several autonomous groups that practiced maize agriculture in order to supplement their hunting and gathering in the region surrounding the Delaware River, the lower Hudson River, and western Long Island Sound. The Lenape were divided into matrilineal clans that were based upon common female ancestors. Clans were organized into 3 distinct phratries identified by their animal sign: turtle, turkey, and wolf. They first encountered the Dutch in the early 17th century, and their primary relationship with the Dutch and later European settlers was through fur trade. The Dutch were the first Europeans to lay claim to geographic territory in New Jersey. The Dutch colony of New Netherland consisted of parts of the modern mid-Atlantic states. Although the European principle of land ownership was not recognized by the Lenape, Dutch West India Company policy required its colonists to purchase land that they settled. The first to do so was Michiopao, who established a patron ship called Pavonia in 1630 along North River that eventually became Bergen. Peter Minuit's purchase of lands along the Delaware River established the colony of New Sweden that lasted until the Dutch conquered it in 1655. Then the entire region became a territory of England on June 24, 1664, after an English fleet under command of Colonel Richard Nichols sailed into what is now New York Harbor and took control of Fort Amsterdam, annexing. During the English Civil War, the Channel Island of Jersey remained loyal to the British Crown and gave sanctuary to the King. In the Royal Square in St. Helier, Charles II of England was proclaimed king in 1649. Following the execution of his father, Charles I, North American lands were divided by Charles II, who gave his brother, the Duke of York, later King James II, the region between New England and Maryland as a proprietary colony as opposed to a royal colony. James then granted land between the Hudson River and the Delaware River, the land that would become New Jersey, to 2 friends who had remained loyal through the English Civil War, Sir George Carteret and Lord Berkeley of Stratton. 29. The area was named the province of New Jersey. Majority of residents lived in towns with individual land holdings of 100 acres 40 hectares. A few rich proprietors owned vast estates. English Quakers and Anglicans owned large land holdings. Unlike Plymouth Colony, Jamestown, and other colonies, New Jersey was populated by a secondary wave of immigrants who came from other colonies instead of those who migrated directly from Europe. New Jersey remained agrarian and rural throughout the colonial era, and commercial farming developed sporadically. Some townships, such as Burlington on the Delaware River and Perth Amboy, emerged as important ports for shipping to New York City and Philadelphia. The colony's fertile lands and tolerant religious policy drew more settlers, and New Jersey's population had increased to 120,000 by 1775. Settlement for the first 10 years of English rule took place along the Hackensack River and Arthur Kill. Settlers came primarily from New York and New England. On March 18, 1673, Berkeley sold his half of the colony to Quakers in England, who settled the Delaware Valley region as a Quaker colony, with William Penn acting as trustee for the lands for a time. New Jersey was governed as to distinct provinces, East and West Jersey, for 28 years between 1674 and 1702, which were part of the Dominion of New England from 1686 to 1689. In 1702, the 2 provinces were reunited under a royal governor rather than a proprietary one. Edward Hyde, titled Lord Cornbury, became the first governor of the royal colony. Britain believed that he was an ineffective and corrupt ruler, taking bribes and speculating on land. In 1708, he was recalled to England. New Jersey was then ruled by the governors of New York, But this infuriated the settlers of New Jersey, who accused these governors of favoritism to New York. Judge Lewis Morris led the case for a separate governor and was appointed governor by King George II in 1738. 30. New Jersey was one of the 13 colonies that revolted against British rule in the American Revolution. The New Jersey Constitution of 1776 was passed July 2, 1776, just 2 days before the Second Continental Congress declared American independence from Great Britain. It was an act of the Provincial Congress, which made itself into the state legislature. To reassure neutrals, it provided that the legislature would disband if New Jersey reached reconciliation with Great Britain. Among the 56 founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence, 5 were New Jersey representatives: Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon, Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, and Abraham Clark. During the American Revolutionary War, British and American armies crossed New Jersey numerous times, and several pivotal battles took place in the state. Because of this, New Jersey today is sometimes referred to as the crossroads of the American Revolution. 31. The winter quarters of the Continental Army were established in New Jersey twice by General George Washington in Morristown, which has been called the military capital of the American Revolution. 32. On the night of December 25th to 26th, 1776, the Continental Army under George Washington crossed the Delaware River. After the crossing, they surprised and defeated the Hessian troops in the Battle of Trenton. Slightly more than a week after victory at Trenton, Continental Army forces gained an important victory by stopping General Cornwallis's charges at the Second Battle of Trenton. By evading Cornwallis's army, the Continental Army was able to make a surprise attack on Princeton and successfully defeated the British forces there on January 3, 1777. Emanuel Lewitz's painting of Washington crossing the Delaware became an icon of the Revolution. Continental Army forces under Washington's command met British forces under General Henry Clinton at the Battle of Monmouth in an indecisive engagement in June 1778. Washington's forces attempted to take the British column by surprise. When the British Army attempted to flank the Americans, the Continental Army retreated in disorder. Their ranks were later reorganized and withstood British charges. 33. In the summer of 1783, the Continental Congress met in Nassau Hall at Princeton University, making Princeton the nation's capital for 4 months. It was there that the Continental Congress learned of the signing of the Treaty of Paris, which ended the war. On December 18, 1787, New Jersey became the 3rd state to ratify the United States Constitution, which was overwhelmingly popular in New Jersey since it prevented New York and Pennsylvania from charging tariffs on goods imported from Europe. On November 20, 1789, New Jersey became the first in the newly formed Union to ratify the Bill of Rights. 30. For the 1776 New Jersey State Constitution gave the vote to all inhabitants who had a certain level of wealth. This included women and black people, but not married women because they were not legally permitted to own property separately from their husbands. Both sides, in several elections, claimed that the other side had had unqualified women vote and mocked them for use of petticoat electors, whether entitled to vote or not. On the other hand, both parties passed voting rights acts. In 1807, legislature passed a bill interpreting the Constitution to mean universal white male suffrage, excluding paupers. The Constitution was itself an act of the legislature and not enshrined as the modern Constitution. 35. 19th century main articles: New Jersey in the 19th century and New Jersey in the American Civil War map of the 107-mile-long, 172-kilometers Morris Canal, which crosses the state in February 15, 1804. New Jersey became the last northern state to abolish new slavery and enacted legislation that slowly phased. The canal allowed for anthracite coal to be transported from eastern Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley to North Jersey's growing industries in Paterson, Newark, and Jersey City. In 1844, the second state constitution was ratified and brought into effect. Counties thereby became districts for the state Senate, and some realignment of boundaries, including the creation of Mercer County, immediately followed. This provision was retained in the 1947 Constitution, but was overturned by the Supreme Court of the United States in 1962 by the decision Baker v. Carr. While the governorship was stronger than under the 1776 Constitution, the Constitution of 1844 created many offices that were not responsible to him or to the people, and it gave him a 3-year term, but he could not succeed himself. New Jersey was one of the few Union states, the others being Delaware and Kentucky, to select a candidate other than Abraham Lincoln twice in national elections, and sided with Stephen A. Douglas 1860 and George B. McClellan 1860 for during their campaigns. McClellan, a native Philadelphian, had New Jersey ties and formerly resided in New Jersey at the time. He later became governor of New Jersey 1878 to 81. In New Jersey, the factions of the Democratic Party managed an effective coalition in 1860. During the American Civil War, the state was led first by Republican Governor Charles Smith Olden, then by Democrat Joel Parker. During the course of the war, between 65,000 and 80,000 soldiers from the state enlisted in the Union Army. Unlike many states, including some northern ones, no battle was fought there. 37 in the Industrial Revolution, cities like Paterson grew and prospered. Previously, the economy had been largely agrarian, which was problematically subject to crop failures and poor soil. This caused a shift to a more industrialized economy, one based on manufactured commodities such as textiles and silk. Inventor Thomas Edison also became an important figure of the Industrial Revolution, having been granted 1,093 patents, many of which for inventions he developed while working in New Jersey. Edison's facilities, first at Menlo Park and then in West Orange, are considered perhaps the first research centers in the United States. Christie Street in Menlo Park was the first thoroughfare in the world to have electric lighting. Transportation was greatly improved as locomotion and steamboats were introduced to New Jersey. Iron mining was also a leading industry during the middle to late 19th century. Bog iron pits in the New Jersey Pine Barrens were among the first sources of iron for the new nation. 38 mines such as M.T. Hope, Mine Hill, and the Rockaway Valley mines created a thriving industry. Mining generated the impetus for new towns and was one of the driving forces behind the need for the Morris Canal. Zinc mines were also a major industry, especially the Sterling Hill mine. 20th Century Maine article. New Jersey in the 20th century. New Jersey prospered through the Roaring Twenties. The first Miss America pageant was held in 1921 in Atlantic City. The Holland Tunnel connecting Jersey City to Manhattan opened in 1927, and the first drive-in movie was shown in 1933 in Camden. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, the state offered begging licenses to unemployed residents. 39 The Zeppelin airship Hindenburg crashed in flames over Lakehurst, and the SS Morro Castle beached itself near Asbury Park after going up in flames while at sea. Through both World Wars, New Jersey was a center for war production, especially naval construction. The Federal Shipbuilding and Drydock Company yards in Kearney and Newark and the New York Shipbuilding Corporation yard in Camden produced aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. 40. New Jersey manufactured 6.8% of total United States military armaments produced during World War II, ranking 5th among the 48 states. 41. In addition, Fort Dix 1917, originally called Camp Dix. 42. Camp Merritt 1917. 43, and Camp Kilmer 1941 citation needed, were all constructed to house and train American soldiers through both World Wars. New Jersey also became a principal location for defense in the Cold War. 14 Nike missile stations were constructed for the defense of the New York City and Philadelphia areas. PT-109, a motor torpedo boat commanded by LTJG John F. Kennedy in World War II, was built at the Elko Boat Works in Bayonne. The aircraft carrier USS Enterprise CV-6 was briefly docked at the Military Ocean Terminal in Bayonne in the 1950s before she was sent to Kearney to be scrapped. 44. In 1962, the world's first nuclear-powered cargo ship, the NS Savannah, was launched at Camden. In 1951, the New Jersey Turnpike opened, facilitating efficient travel by car and truck between North Jersey and metropolitan New York and South Jersey and metropolitan Philadelphia. 45. Subsequently, in 1957, the Garden State Parkway was completed, serving as a diagonal counterpart to the Turnpike and opening up highway travel along New Jersey's coastal flank between Bergen County in the northeast and the Cape May County Peninsula at the southeastern tip of New Jersey. In doing so, the Jersey Shore became readily accessible to millions of residents in the New York metropolitan area. In 1959, Air Defense Command deployed the CIM-10 Bombark surface-to-air missile to McGuire Air Force Base. On June 7, 1960, an explosion in a CIM-10 Bombark missile fuel tank caused an accident and subsequent plutonium contamination. 46. In the 1960s, race riots erupted in many of the industrial cities of North Jersey. The first race riots in New Jersey occurred in Jersey City on August 2, 1964. Several others ensued in 1967 in Newark and Plainfield. Other riots followed the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in April 1968. Just as in the rest of the country, a riot occurred in Camden in 1971. As a result of an order from the New Jersey Supreme Court to fund schools equitably, the New Jersey legislature passed an income tax bill in 1976. Prior to this bill, the state had no income tax. 47. 21st Century Maine article. New Jersey in the 21st century. In the early part of the 2000s, 2 light rail systems were opened: the Hudson-Bergen Light Rail in Hudson County and the river line between Camden and Trenton. The intent of these projects was to encourage transit-oriented development in North Jersey and South Jersey, respectively. The HBLR was credited with a revitalization of Hudson County and Jersey City. 48. 49. 50. 51. Urban revitalization has continued in North Jersey in the 21st century. In 2014, Jersey City's census-estimated population was 262,146, 52, with the largest population increase of any municipality in New Jersey since 2010, 53, representing an increase of 5.9% from the 2010 U.S. Census, when the city's population was enumerated at 247,597. 54. 55. Between 2000 and 2010, Newark experienced its first population increase since the 1950s, and by 2020 had rebounded to 311,549. Geographum Appliqued. Copyright OpenStreetMap Map of New Jersey, Maine articles. Geography of New Jersey and Climate of New Jersey. See also, List of counties in New Jersey and metropolitan statistical areas of New Jersey. Sunrise on the Jersey Shore at Spring Lake in Monmouth County top, and sunset at Sunset Beach in Cape May County bottom, atop the Hudson Palisades in Englewood Cliffs, Bergen County, overlooking the Hudson River, the George Washington Bridge, and the skyscrapers of Midtown Manhattan. New York City Delaware water gap is shared between Warren County and neighboring Pennsylvania. At 69.6 miles 112.0 kilometers in length, Raritan River is the longest river entirely within New Jersey, flowing from Raritan Valley near Clinton above, eastward to Raritan Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. Great Falls of the Passaic River in Paterson was designated a U.S. National Historic by New York, parts of which are across the Hudson River, Upper New York Bay, the Kill Van Cole, Newark Bay, and the Arthur Kill, on the east by the Atlantic Ocean, on the southwest by Delaware across Delaware Bay, and on the west by Pennsylvania across the Delaware River. New Jersey is broadly divided into the North, Central, and South Jersey geographic regions, although some residents do not consider Central Jersey a region in its own right. Across the regions are 5 distinct areas divided by natural geography and population concentration. Northeastern New Jersey, often referred to as the Gateway region, lies closest to Manhattan in New York City, and up to 1 million residents commute daily into the city for work, many via public transportation. 66. The Jersey Shore, along the Atlantic coast in Central and South Jersey, has its own unique natural, residential, and cultural characteristics owing to its location by the ocean. South Jersey represents the southernmost geographical region of the northeastern United States. The Delaware Valley includes the southwestern counties of the state, which reside within the Delaware Valley surrounding Philadelphia. Despite its heavily urban character and a long history of industrialization, forests cover roughly 45% of New Jersey's land area, or approximately to 0.1 million acres, 8,500 square kilometers, ranking 31st among the 50 U.S. states and 6 territories. 67. Northwestern New Jersey, often referred to as the Skylands region, is more wooded, rural, and mountainous. The chief tree of the northern forests is the oak. The New Jersey Pine Barrens is situated in the southern interior of New Jersey and covered extensively by mixed pine and oak forest. Its population density is lower than most of the state. The state's highest prominence is Kittian Mountain in Mars County, rising 892 feet, 272 meters. The Palisades are a line of steep cliffs on the west side of the Hudson River in Bergen and Hudson counties. Major New Jersey rivers include the Hudson, Delaware, Raritan, Passaic, Hackensack, Rahway, Musconetcong, Mullica, Rancocas, Manasquan, Maurice, and Toms rivers. Due to New Jersey's peninsular geography, both sunrise and sunset are visible over water from different points on the Jersey Shore. Climate Maine article. Climate of New Jersey state consists of 2 climate zones. Most of the state has a humid subtropical climate, CFA, while the Northwest has a humid continental climate, DFA. 68. New Jersey receives between 2,400 and 2,800 hours of sunshine annually. 69. Summers are typically hot and humid, with statewide average high temperatures of 82 to 87 F, 28 to 31 C, and lows of 60 to 69 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 to 21 C. However, temperatures exceed 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 to C on average 25 days each summer, exceeding 100 F 38 Celsius in some years. Winters are usually cold, with average high temperatures of 34 to 43 F 1 to 6 C and lows of 16 to 28 F 9 to C for most of the state. But temperatures can, for brief periods, fall below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 C, and sometimes rise above 50 F. Northwestern parts of the state have significantly colder winters, with sub-zero F 18 C being an almost annual occurrence. Spring and autumn may feature wide temperature variations, with lower humidity than summer. The USDA plant hardiness zone classification ranges from 6 in the northwest of the state to 7B near Cape May. 70. All-time temperature extremes recorded in New Jersey include 110 F 43 Celsius on July 10, 1936, in Runyon, Middlesex County, and 30 for F 37 C on January 5, 1904, in River Vale, Bergen County. 71. Average annual precipitation ranges from 43 to 51 inches, 1,100 to 1,300 millimeters, spread uniformly throughout the year. Average snowfall per winter season ranges from 10 to 15 inches, 25 to 38 centimeters in the south and near the seacoast, 15 to 30 inches, 38 to 76 centimeters in the northeast and central part of the state, to about 40 to 50 inches, 1.0 to 1.3 meters in the northwestern highlands. But this often varies considerably from year to year. Precipitation falls on an average of 120 days a year, with 25 to 30 thunderstorms, most of which during winter and early spring. New Jersey can experience nor'easters, which are capable of causing blizzards or flooding throughout the northeastern United States. Hurricanes and tropical storms, tornadoes, and earthquakes are rare. The state was impacted by a hurricane in 1903, Tropical Storm Floyd in 1999, 72, and Hurricane Sandy in 2012, which made landfall in the state with top winds of 90 miles per hour, 145 kilometers per hour. Climate change is affecting New Jersey faster than much of the rest of the United States. Climatologists at the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have concluded that New Jersey has been the fastest warming state by average air temperature over a 100-year period. Beginning in the early 20th century, 26 municipalities for its overall population and nation-leading population density, New Jersey has a relative paucity of classic large cities. This paradox is most pronounced in Bergen County, the state's most populous county, whose 955,732 residents at the 2020 census inhabited 70 municipalities, of which the most populous is Hackensack, with 46,030 residents. Many urban areas extend far beyond the limits of a single large city, as New Jersey municipalities tend to be geographically small. 3 of the 4 largest cities in New Jersey by population have under 20 square miles, 52 square kilometers, of land area, and 8 of the top 10, including all the top 5, have a land area under 30 square miles, 78. As of the 2010 United States Census, only for municipalities had over 100,000 residents, although Edison and Woodbridge Township came very close. This number increased to 7 by the 2020 census. Residents of New Jersey are most commonly referred to as New Jerseyans or, less commonly, as New Jerseyites. According to the 2020 U.S. Census, the state had a population of 9,288,994, a 5.7% increase since the 2010 U.S. Census, which counted 8,791,890 for residents. The state ranked 11th in the country by total population and first in population density, with 1,185 residents per square mile for 158 per square kilometers. Historically, New Jersey has experienced one of the fastest growth rates in the country, with its population increasing by double digits almost every decade until 1980. Growth has since slowed, but remained relatively robust until recently. In 2022, the Census Bureau estimated there were 6,260 fewer residents than in 2020, a decline of 0.3% from 2020, related to the COVID-19 pandemic. 76. New Jersey is the only state where every county is deemed urban as defined by the Census Bureau. 77. Most residents live in the counties surrounding New York City, the nation's largest city, Philadelphia, the nation's 6th largest city, or along the eastern Jersey Shore. The extreme southern and northwestern counties are relatively less dense overall. Since the 2000 census, the United States Census Bureau calculated that New Jersey's center of population was located in East Brunswick. 78, 79, 80. The state is located in the middle of the northeast megalopolis, which has more than 50 million residents. As of 2023, New Jersey had a median household income of $99,781, the second highest of any U.S. state, behind Massachusetts, 81.82. Conversely, New Jersey's poverty rate of 9.4% was slightly lower than the national average of 11.4%, 82, and the 6th lowest of the 50 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. This is attributed to several factors, including the state's proximity to the major economic centers of New York City and Philadelphia. It's hosting the highest number of millionaires, both per capita and per square mile in the U.S., and the fact that it has the most scientists and engineers per square mile in the world, 8380 for 85. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's 2022 Annual Homeless Assessment Report, there were an estimated 8,750 homeless people in New Jersey. 86-87. The top countries of origin for New Jersey's immigrants in 2018 were India, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Ecuador, and the Philippines. 88. Race and ethnicity. Ethnic origins in New Jersey. New Jersey is one of the most ethnically diverse states in the United States, As of 2022, over one-fifth, 21.5% of its residents are Hispanic or Latino, 15.3% are Black, and 1 in 4 New Jerseyans were born abroad, and more than 1 million, 12.1%, are not fully fluent in English. Compared to the U.S. as a whole, the state is more racially and ethnically diverse and has a higher proportion of immigrants. 89. New Jersey is home to roughly 500,000 undocumented immigrants, 96-97 comprising an estimated 6.2% of the population, which in 2018 was the 5th highest percentage of any U.S. state. 98. The municipalities of Camden, Jersey City, and Newark are considered sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants. 99. New Jersey is one of the most ethnically and religiously diverse states in the United States. Nearly one-fourth of New Jerseyans, 22.7%, were foreign-born, compared to the national average of 13.5%. 82. As of 2011, 56.4% of New Jersey's children under the age of 1 belonged to racial or ethnic minority groups, meaning that they had at least one parent who was not non-Hispanic white. The 2019 vintage year census estimated that the state's ethnic makeup was as follows: 71.9% white alone, 15.1% Black or African American alone, 10.0% Asian alone, 0.6% American Indian and Alaska Native alone, 0.1% Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander alone, and 2.3% Hispanic or Latino accounted for 20.9%, while white alone, non-Hispanic or Latino, accounted for 54.6% of the population. 101. Many of the municipalities in Bergen County, New Jersey, the state's largest county, have a sizable minority population of Hispanics and Asians. 102. There are also 3 state-recognized tribes, and in 2020, 51,186 identified as being Native American alone, while 96,691 did in combination with one or more other races. 103. New Jersey hosts some of the nation's largest communities of religious and ethnic minorities in proportional, or it has the second largest Jewish population by percentage after New York. 100 for the largest Muslim population by percentage. 105. The largest population of Peruvians in the U.S., the largest population of Cubans outside Florida, the 3rd highest Asian population by percentage, and the 2nd highest Italian population. 106 according to the 2000 census. African Americans, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, West Indians, Arabs, and Brazilian and Portuguese Americans are also high in number. New Jersey also has the 4th largest Filipino population and 4th largest Chinese population, per the 2010 U.S. Census. New Jersey has the 3rd highest Indian population of any state by absolute numbers and the highest by percentage. 107, 108, 109, 110, with India Square in Jersey City. Hudson County 95 hosting the highest concentration of Asian Indians in the Western Hemisphere. 111. A study by the Pew Research Center found that in 2013, New Jersey was the only U.S. state in which immigrants born in India constituted the largest foreign-born nationality, representing roughly 10% of all foreign-born residents in the state. 112. Central New Jersey, particularly Edison and surrounding Middlesex County, has the highest concentration of Indians at nearly 20% in 2020. Little India is the largest and most diverse South Asian cultural hub in the United States. 113, 114, 115, 116. The area includes a sprawling Chinatown and Koreatown running along New Jersey Route 27. 117. Monroe Township in Middlesex County has experienced a particularly rapid growth rate in its Indian American population, with an estimated 5,943, 13.6%, as of 2017. 118, which was 23 times the 256, 0.9%, counted at the 2000 census. Diwali is celebrated by the township in Middlesex County. Election ballots are printed in English, Spanish, Gujarati, Hindi, and Punjabi. 119 Robbinsville, in neighboring Mercer County, hosts the world's largest Hindu temple outside Asia. 120. Carteret's Punjabi Sikh community, variously estimated at upwards of 3,000, is the largest concentration of Sikhs in the state. 121. Bergen County is home to America's largest Malayali community. 122. New Jersey also has the third largest Korean population, with Bergen County home to the highest Korean concentration per capita of any U.S. county. 123. 6.9% in 2011. It is a growing hub and home to all of the nation's top 10 municipalities by percentage of Korean population. 124, led by Palisades Park. 125. The municipality with the highest density of ethnic Koreans in the Western Hemisphere, displaying ubiquitous Hangul signage and known as the Korean Village. 126. Palisades Park uniquely comprises a Korean majority 52% in 2010 of its population. 127. 128, with both the highest Korean American density and percentage of any municipality as of 2010, 71.31%, 5,830,812 of New Jersey residents age 5 and older spoke English at home as a primary language, while 14.59%, 1,193,261 spoke Spanish. 1.23%, 100. 217, Chinese, which includes Cantonese and Mandarin. 1.06%, 86,849, Italian. 1.06%, 86,486, Portuguese. 0.96%, 78,627, Tagalog. And Korean was spoken as a main language by 0.89%, 73,057 of the population over the age of 5. In total, 28.69%, 2,345,644 of New Jersey's population age 5 and older spoke a mother language other than English. 138. A diverse collection of languages has since evolved amongst the state's population. Given that New Jersey has become cosmopolitan and is home to ethnic enclaves of non-English speaking communities. 139, 140, 141, 142. Sexual orientation and gender identity. Further information: LGBT culture in New York City and LGBT culture in Philadelphia. New Jersey is widely regarded as an LGBTQ+ friendly state and is now home to more gay villages per square mile than any other U.S. state. Same-sex marriage in New Jersey has been legally recognized since October 21, 2013, the effective date of a trial court ruling invalidating New Jersey's restriction of marriage to persons of different sexes at the time. In September 2013, Mary C. Jacobson, assignment judge of the Mercer vicinage of the Superior Court, ruled that as a result of the U.S. Supreme Court's June 2013 decision in United States v. Windsor, the Constitution of New Jersey requires the state to recognize same-sex marriages. 151. Numerous neighborhoods have emerged in New Jersey, most prominently in Jersey City. 152. Asbury Park, Maplewood. 153. Montclair and Lambertville. 154. Trenton, the state capital of New Jersey, elected Reed Gusiora its first openly gay mayor in 2018. 155. And Jennifer Williams, New Jersey's first openly transgender city council member, in 2022. 156. In June 2018, Maplewood, Essex County unveiled permanent rainbow-colored crosswalks to celebrate LGBTQ pride. 157. Rahway, Union County, also unveiled its own rainbow-colored crosswalks in June 2019. 158. In January 2019, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy signed legislation mandating LGBTQ+ inclusive educational curriculum in schools. 159. In February 2019, New Jersey began allowing a neutral or non-binary gender choice on birth certificates. 160C also. Category: Religion in New Jersey. By number of adherents, the largest religious traditions in New Jersey, according to the 2010 Association of Religion Data Archives, were the Roman Catholic Church with 3,235,290, Islam with 160,666, and the United Methodist Church with 138,052. 162. The world's largest Hindu temple outside Asia is in Robbinsville, Mercer County. 120. In September 2021, the state of New Jersey aligned with the World Hindu Council to declare October Hindu Heritage Month. In January 2018, Gurbir Grul became the first Sikh American to serve as State Attorney General in the United States. 163. In January 2019, Sadaf Jaffer of Montgomery became the first female Muslim American mayor, first female South Asian mayor, and first female Pakistani American mayor in the U.S. 160. For large numbers of Orthodox Jews are now migrating to New Jersey from New York, due to the latter's higher cost of living. 165. The world's largest gathering of rabbis outside of Israel occurred in Edison on December 1, 2024. 166. Education. See also New Jersey Department of Education, Post-Secondary Education in New Jersey, List of high schools in New Jersey, and List of school districts in New Jersey. Old Queens at Rutgers University, the largest state university system in New Jersey. Nassau Hall at Princeton University, an Ivy League university and one of the world's most prominent research institutions. Served briefly as the U.S. capital in the 18th century. As of the 2020-2021 school year, there were 686 operating districts in the state. Of these, 599 were traditional public school districts and 87 were charter school districts. 171. The NJDOE reported a total district enrollment of 1,362,400 students, the lowest total enrollment since the early 2000s, though these figures do not consider homeschooled students or those attending out-of-state schools. 172. New Jersey public schools emphasize STEM subjects, and New Jersey is home to more scientists and engineers per square mile than anywhere else in the world. 83. 173. Educational standards. New Jersey is known for the high quality of its education. In 2024, New Jersey spent the second most per public school student among all states, behind New York, amounting to $26,600 spent per pupil. 174. Over 50% of the expenditure is allocated to student instruction. 175. New Jersey is home to several prestigious private universities, including Princeton University in Princeton and Mercer County, one of the world's most prominent research universities, which was ranked first for the 9th consecutive year among all national universities by U.S. News and World Report in 2024 and ranked first in comparable lists published the same year by Forbes and the Wall Street Journal. 176. 177, 178, and public universities such as Rutgers University, headquartered in New Brunswick, Middlesex County, the state's flagship institution of higher education. 179. In 2014, New Jersey's school systems were ranked at the top of all 50 U.S. states by financial website Wallethub. 180. In 2018, New Jersey's overall educational system was ranked second among all states to Massachusetts by U.S. News and World Report. 24. In 2019, 2020, and 2021, Education Week also ranked New Jersey public schools the best of all U.S. states. 181. 21. In 2016, -1 New Jersey-based high schools were ranked among the top 25 in the nation, more than any other state, in America's Top High Schools 2016, published by Newsweek. 182. In November 2023, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy signed into law legislation eliminating testing for prospective teachers in reading, writing, and math, replacing it with an alternative certification process. 183. Economy. See also, New Jersey locations by per capita income. U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis estimates that New Jersey's gross state product in the third quarter of 2022 was $753 billion. 180 for the Bureau of Economic Analysis, B of the United States Department of Commerce, is a U.S. government agency that provides official macroeconomic and industry statistics, most notably reports about the gross domestic product (GDP) of the United States and its jurisdictions. They also provide information about personal income, corporate profits, and government spending in their national income and product accounts and IPA letters. The BEA is one of the principal agencies of the U.S. federal statistical system. 1. Its stated mission is to promote a better understanding of the U.S. economy by providing the most timely, relevant, and accurate economic data in an objective and cost-effective manner. TBE has about 500 employees and an annual budget of approximately $101 million. 3. Gross Regional Domestic Product (GRDP), Gross Domestic Product of Region (GDPR), or Gross State Product (GSP) is a statistic that measures the size of a region's economy. It is the aggregate of gross value added (GVA) of all resident producer units in the region and analogous to national gross domestic product. The GRDP includes regional estimates on the three major sectors including their subsectors. Affluency, a heat map showing median income distribution in New Jersey by county. New Jersey's per capita gross state product routinely ranks among the highest in the nation. In 2020, New Jersey had more millionaires both per capita and per square mile, representing roughly 9.76% of all New Jersey household, than any state in the nation. 20. The state is ranked second in the nation by the number of places with per capita incomes exceeding the national average with 76.4%. 3 of New Jersey's counties are among the 20 highest income U.S. counties in the nation as of 2023. 185 fiscal policy. New Jersey has 7 tax brackets that determine state income tax rates, which range from 1.4% for income below $20,000 to 8.97% for income above $500,000. 186. The standard sales tax rate as of January 1, 2018, is 6.6 to 5%, applicable to all retail sales unless specifically exempt by law. This rate, which is comparably lower than that of New York City, often attracts numerous shoppers from New York City, often to suburban Paramus, New Jersey, which has 5 malls, one of which, the Garden State Plaza, has over 2 million square feet, 200,000 square meters of retail space. Tax exemptions include most food items for at-home preparation, medications, most clothing, footwear, and disposable paper products for use in the home. 187. There are 27 urban enterprise zones statewide, including sections of Paterson, Elizabeth, and Jersey City. In addition to other benefits, to encourage employment within the zone, shoppers can take advantage of a reduced 3.31 to 5% sales tax rate, half the rate charged statewide, at eligible merchants. 188, 189, 190, New Jersey has the highest cumulative tax rate of all 50 states, with residents paying a total of $68 billion in state and local taxes annually, with a per capita burden of $7,816 at a rate of 12.9% of income. All real property located in the state is subject to property tax unless specifically exempted by statute. New Jersey does not assess an intangible personal property tax or an estate tax, but it does impose an inheritance tax, which is levied only on heirs who are not direct descendants. 192. In 2023, Governor Phil Murphy signed into law a new tax relief program known as STANGE that will provide for an annual property tax cut of 50% for those aged 65 and over with incomes below $500,000. The cut will go into effect in January 2026 and be capped at $6,500. But with this cap rising as indexed to the increase in New Jersey's overall property taxes. 193, 194, federal taxation disparity. New Jersey consistently ranks as having one of the highest proportional levels of disparity of any state in the U.S., based upon what it receives from the federal government. In 2015, Waltham ranked New Jersey the state that was least dependent on federal government aid overall, and the state with the fourth lowest return on taxpayer investment from the federal government, at 48 cents per dollar. 195, New Jersey has one of the highest tax burdens of any state in the nation. 196 factors for this include the large federal tax liability, which is not adjusted for New Jersey's higher cost of living and Medicaid funding formulas. Industries. Further information. Biotech and pharmaceutical companies in New Jersey. Cranberry harvest. New Jersey's economy is multifaceted, featuring high levels of both productivity and retail consumption. The Garden State's economy comprises the pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology, information technology, the financial industry, tourism, filmmaking, telecommunications, gambling, food processing, electrical equipment manufacturing, printing, and publishing. New Jersey's agricultural outputs are nursery stock, horses, vegetables, fruits and nuts, seafood, and dairy products. 197. New Jersey ranks second among states in blueberry production, third in cranberries and spinach, and fourth in bell peppers, peaches, and head lettuce. 198. The state harvests the fourth largest number of acres planted with asparagus. 199. South Jersey has become an East Coast epicenter for logistics and warehouse construction. 200. Scientific economy. New Jersey has a strong scientific economy and is home to major pharmaceutical and telecommunications firms, drawing on the state's large and well-educated labor pool, including one of the highest concentrations of engineers and other scientists in the world. There is also a robust service economy in retail sales, education, and real estate, serving residents who work in New York City or Philadelphia. Thomas Edison invented the first electric light bulb at his home in Menlo Park, Edison, in 1879. New Jersey is also a key participant in the renewable wind industry. New Jersey has more scientists and engineers per square mile than anywhere in the world, 201, and is a global leader in pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, life sciences, and technology. 200 to 203 corporate and retail. New Jersey hosts numerous business headquarters, including 24 Fortune 500 companies. 204. Paramus in Bergen County has become the top retail zip code 07652 in the United States, with the municipality generating over $6 billion United States dollars in annual retail sales. 205. Several New Jersey counties, including Somerset 7, Morris 10, 113, Bergen 21, and Monmouth 42, have been ranked among the highest income counties in the United States. Shipping, manufacturing, and logistics. Shipping is a key industry in New Jersey because of the state's strategic geographic location, the Port of New York and New Jersey being the busiest port on the East Coast. The Port Newark Elizabeth Marine Terminal was the world's first container port and today is one of the world's largest. New Jersey's location at the center of the eastern North American population belt has made the state a prime hub for the logistics, warehousing, and supply chain management industries. The manufacturing economy in New Jersey had declined for several decades in the post-industrial revolution era, but has since resumed growth. This accessibility to consumer revenue has enabled seaside resorts, such as Atlantic City and the remainder of the Jersey Shore, as well as the state's other natural and cultural attractions, to contribute significantly to the record 111 million tourist visits to New Jersey in 2018, providing $44.7 billion United States dollars in tourism revenue, directly supporting 333,860 jobs. sustaining more than 531,000 jobs overall, including peripheral impacts, and generating $5 billion United States dollars in state and local tax revenue. 206. The Northeast Megalopolis, also known as the Northeast Corridor, Acela Corridor. 5. Boston-Washington Corridor, Boswash or Bosniwash. 6 is the most populous megalopolis exclusively within the United States, with slightly over 50 million residents as of 2022. It is the world's largest megalopolis by economic output. 7. Located primarily on the Atlantic coast in the northeastern United States. The Northeast Megalopolis extends from the northern suburbs of Boston to Washington, D.C., running roughly southwesterly along a section of U.S. Route 1, Interstate 95, and the Northeast Corridor Train Lines 8. It is sometimes defined more broadly to include other urban regions, including the Richmond and Hampton Roads regions to the south, Portland, Maine, and Manchester, New Hampshire, to the north, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to the west. 9. The region includes many of the nation's most populated metropolitan areas, including those of New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Boston, and Baltimore. 10. As of 2020, it contained more than 50 million people, about 17% of the U.S. population on less than 2% of the nation's land area, with a population density of about 1,000 people per square mile, 390 people per square kilometer, far more than the U.S. average of 80.5 per square mile, 1131 people. At least one projection estimates the area will grow to 58.1 million people by 2025. 12. French geographer Jean Gottman popularized the term megalopolis in his 1961 study of the region. Megalopolis, the urbanized northeastern seaboard of the United States. Gottman concluded that the region's cities, while discrete and independent, are uniquely tied to each other through the intermeshing of their suburban zones, taking on some characteristics of a single, massive city, a megalopolis, a term he co-opted from an ancient Greek town of the same name that named itself out of aspiration to become the largest Greek city. A seaside resort is a city, town, village, or hotel that serves as a vacation resort and is located on a coast. Sometimes the concept includes an aspect of an official accreditation based on the satisfaction of certain requirements, such as in the German Seebad, where a beach is the primary focus for tourists. It may be called a beach resort. History: Brighton, the front and the chain pier seen in the distance, an early 19th century watercolor painting of Brighton, a seaside resort in East Sussex, Ingland-Barcola in northeast Italy, a holiday seaside resort historically and currently at sea. 1841 illustration Heiligendum in Mecklenburg, Germany, established in 1793. The oldest seaside resort in continental Europe. Seaside resorts have existed since antiquity. In Roman times, the town of Baiae by the Tyrrhenian Sea in Italy was a resort for those who were sufficiently prosperous. 1. Barcola by the Adriatic Sea in northern Italy with its Roman luxury villas is considered a special example of ancient leisure culture by the sea. 2. Mersea Island in Essex, England was a seaside holiday destination for wealthy ancient Romans living in Colchester. 3. The development of the beach as a popular leisure resort from the mid-19th century was the first manifestation of what is now the global tourist industry. The first seaside resorts were opened in the 18th century for the aristocracy, who began to frequent the seaside as well as the then fashionable spa towns for recreation and health. For one of the earliest such seaside resorts was Scarborough in Yorkshire during the 1720s. It had been a popular spa town since a stream of acidic water was discovered running from one of the cliffs, the south of the town in the 17th century. 4. The first rolling bathing machines were introduced by 1735. In 1793, Heiligendum in Mecklenburg, Germany was founded as the first seaside resort of the European continent, which successfully attracted Europe's aristocracy to the Baltic Sea. 5. The opening of the resort in Brighton and its reception of royal patronage from King George IV extended the seaside as a resort for health and pleasure to the much larger London market, and the beach became a center for upper-class pleasure and frivolity. This trend was praised and artistically elevated by the new romantic ideal of the picturesque landscape. Jane Austen's unfinished novel Sandidone is an example of that. Later, Queen Victoria's long-standing patronage of the Isle of Wight and Ramsgate in Kent ensured that a seaside residence was considered a highly fashionable possession for those wealthy enough to afford more than one home. Seaside resorts for the middle and working class as the Blackpool Promenade in Lancashire, England, c. 1898. The extension of this form of leisure to the middle and working classes began with the development of the railways in the 1840s. They offered cheap travel to fast-growing resort towns. In particular, the branch line to the small seaside town of Blackpool from Paulton-le-Fylde led to a sustained economic and demographic boom. A sudden influx of visitors arriving by rail motivated entrepreneurs to build accommodation and create new attractions, leading to more visitors and rapid growth throughout the 1850s and 1860s. 6. The growth was intensified by the practice among the Lancashire cotton mill owners of closing the factories for a week every year to service and repair machinery. These became known as Wakes Weeks. Each town's mills would close for a different week, allowing Blackpool to manage a steady and reliable stream of visitors over a prolonged period in the summer. A prominent feature of the resort was the promenade and the pleasure piers, where an eclectic variety of performances vied for the people's attention. In 1863, the North Pier in Blackpool was completed, rapidly becoming a center of attraction for elite clarification-needed visitors. Central Pier was completed in 1868, with a theater and a large open-air dance floor. 7 many popular beach resorts were equipped with bathing machines, because even the all-covering beachwear of the period was considered a modest. By the end of the century, the English coastline had over 100 large resort towns, some with populations exceeding 50,000. 8. Expansion around the world. A seaside foyer in Monte Carlo and Monaco in the 1870s. The Strandkorb became a symbol of seaside tourism by the end of the 19th century, especially on the southern Baltic Sea coast. The development of the seaside resort abroad was stimulated by the well-developed English love of the beach. The French Riviera on the Mediterranean Sea had already become a destination for the British upper class by the end of the 18th century. In 1864, the first railway to Nice was completed, making the Riviera accessible to visitors from all over Europe. By 1874, foreign residents in Nice, mostly British, numbered 25,000. The coastline became renowned for attracting the royalty of Europe, including Queen Victoria and King Edward VII. 9. In the United States, early seaside resorts in the late 1800s catered to the wealthy, including city businessmen. Cape May, New Jersey became one of the first coastal resorts in the United States when regular steamboat traffic on the Delaware River began after the War of 1812. Early visitors to Cape May included Henry Clay in 1847 and Abraham Lincoln in 1849. By 1880, Henry Flagler had extended several rail lines southward down the U.S. Atlantic coastline, enticing northern upper-class families south to subtropical Florida. Continental European attitudes towards gambling and nudity tended to be more lax than in Britain, and British and French entrepreneurs were quick to exploit the possibilities. In 1863, the Prince of Monaco, Charles III, and François Blanc, a French businessman, arranged for steamships and carriages to take visitors from Nice to Monaco, where large luxury hotels, gardens, and casinos were built. The place was renamed Monte Carlo. Citation needed. Commercial sea bathing also spread to other areas of the United States and parts of the British Empire, such as Australia, where surfing became popular in the early 20th century. By the 1970s, cheap and affordable air travel was the catalyst for the growth of a global tourism market. Since the late 20th century, recreational fishing and leisure boat pursuits have become very lucrative, and traditional fishing villages are often well positioned to take advantage of this. Destin, Florida, for instance, has evolved from an artisanal fishing village into a seaside resort dedicated to tourism with a large fishing fleet of recreational charter boats. 10. Industries. Further information. Biotech and pharmaceutical companies in New Jersey. Cranberry harvest. New Jersey's economy is multifaceted, featuring high levels of both productivity and retail consumption. The Garden State's economy comprises the pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology, information technology, the financial industry, tourism, filmmaking, telecommunications, gambling, food processing, electrical equipment manufacturing, printing, and publishing. New Jersey's agricultural outputs are nursery stock, horses, vegetables, fruits and nuts, seafood, and dairy products. 197. New Jersey ranks second among states in blueberry production, third in cranberries and spinach, and fourth in bell peppers, peaches, and head lettuce. 198. The state harvests the fourth largest number of acres planted with asparagus. 199. South Jersey has become an East Coast epicenter for logistics and warehouse construction. 200. Filmmaking or film production is the process by which a motion picture is produced. Filmmaking involves a number of complex and discrete stages, beginning with an initial story, idea, or commission. Production then continues through screenwriting, casting, pre-production, shooting, sound recording, post-production, and screening the finished product before an audience, which may result in a film release and exhibition. The process is non-linear, in that the filmmaker typically shoots the script out of sequence, repeats shots as needed, and puts them together through editing later. Filmmaking occurs in a variety of economic, social, and political contexts around the world and uses a variety of technologies and cinematic techniques to make theatrical films, episodic films for television and streaming platforms, music videos, and promotional and educational films. Although filmmaking originally involved the use of film, most film productions are now digital. 1. Today, filmmaking refers to the process of crafting an audio-visual story commercially for distribution or broadcast. Tourism is travel for pleasure, and the commercial activity of providing and supporting such travel. 1. UN Tourism defines tourism more generally, in terms which go beyond the common perception of tourism as being limited to holiday activity only, as people traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year for leisure and not less than 24 hours, business, and other purposes. To tourism can be domestic within the traveler's own country or international. International tourism has both incoming and outgoing implications on a country's balance of payments. Between the second half of 2008 and the end of 2009, tourism numbers declined as a result of a strong economic slowdown, see Great Recession, and in consequence of the outbreak of the 2009 H1N1 influenza virus. 3-4. These numbers, however, recovered until the COVID-19 pandemic put an abrupt end to the growth. Citation needed. The United Nations World Tourism Organization has estimated that global international tourist arrivals might have decreased by 58% to 78% in 2020, leading to a potential loss of 90 cents -1 to trillion in international tourism receipts. 5. Globally, international tourism receipts, the travel item in the balance of payments, grew to $1 trillion 740 billion euros in 2005, corresponding to an increase in real terms of 3.8% from 2010. 6. International tourist arrivals surpassed the milestone of 1 billion tourists globally for the first time in 2012. 7. Emerging source markets such as China, Russia, and Brazil had significantly increased their spending over the previous decade. 8. Global tourism accounts for 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. 9. Emissions, as well as other significant environmental, and social impacts are not always beneficial to local communities and their economies. For this reason, many tourist development organizations have begun to focus on sustainable tourism to mitigate the negative effects caused by the growing impact of tourism. The United Nations World Tourism Organization emphasized these practices by promoting tourism as part of the Sustainable Development Goals through programs such as the International Year for Sustainable Tourism for Development. In 2017, tourism has reached new dimensions with the emerging industry of space tourism, as well as the cruise ship industry. Scientific economy. New Jersey has a strong scientific economy and is home to major pharmaceutical and telecommunications firms, drawing on the state's large and well-educated labor pool, including one of the highest concentrations of engineers and other scientists in the world. There is also a robust service economy in retail sales, education, and real estate, serving residents who work in New York City or Philadelphia. Thomas Edison invented the first electric light bulb at his home in Menlo Park, Edison, in 1879. New Jersey is also a key participant in the renewable wind industry. New Jersey has more scientists and engineers per square mile than anywhere in the world, 201, and is a global leader in pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, life sciences, and technology. 200 to 203 corporate and retail. New Jersey hosts numerous business headquarters, including 24 Fortune 500 companies. 204. Paramus in Bergen County has become the top retail zip code 07652 in the United States, with the municipality generating over $6 billion United States dollars in annual retail sales. 205. Several New Jersey counties, including Somerset 7, Morris 10, Hunter 13, Bergen 21, and Monmouth 42, have been ranked among the highest income counties in the United States. Shipping, manufacturing, and logistics. Shipping is a key industry in New Jersey because of the state's strategic geographic location. The Port of New York and New Jersey being the busiest port on the East Coast. The Port Newark Elizabeth Marine Terminal was the world's first container port and today is one of the world's largest. New Jersey's location at the center of the eastern North American population belt has made the state a prime hub for the logistics, warehousing, and supply chain management industries. The manufacturing economy in New Jersey had declined for several decades in the post-industrial revolution era, but has since resumed growth. Tourism. Sunset on the beach at Atlantic City, an oceanfront resort and the nexus of New Jersey's gambling industry. New Jersey's location at the center of the Northeast megalopolis and its extensive transportation system have put over one-third of all United States residents and many Canadian residents within overnight distance by land. This accessibility to consumer revenue has enabled seaside resorts such as Atlantic City and the remainder of the Jersey Shore, as well as the state's other natural and cultural attractions, to contribute significantly to the record 111 million tourist visits to New Jersey in 2018, providing $44.7 billion United States dollars in tourism revenue, directly supporting 333,860 jobs, sustaining more than 531,000 jobs overall, including peripheral impacts, and generating $5 billion United States dollars in state and local tax revenue. 206. Media. New Jersey's telephone area code is television and film production. Mine article. Television and film of New Jersey. New Jersey is a growing center for filmmaking and television production. 217. With media companies enticed by its proximity to Manhattan, in conjunction with tax incentives, collectively spending billions of dollars to develop large new studio facilities and soundstage complexes. 218. Motion picture technology was developed by Thomas Edison, with much of his early work done at his West Orange laboratory. Edison's Black Maria was the first motion picture studio. America's first motion picture industry started in 1907 in Fort Lee, and the first studio was constructed there in 1909. 219. Dumont Laboratories in Passaic developed early sets and made the first broadcast to the private home. A number of television shows and films have been filmed in New Jersey. Since 1978, the state has maintained a motion picture and television commission to encourage filming in state. 220, New Jersey has long offered tax credits to television producers. Governor Chris Christie suspended the credits in 2010, but the New Jersey State Legislature in 2011 approved the restoration and expansion of the tax credit program. Under bills passed by both the state Senate and Assembly, the program offers 20% tax credits, 22% in urban enterprise zones, to television and film productions that shoot in the state and meet at standards for hiring and local spending. 221, when Governor Phil Murphy took office, he instated the New Jersey Film and Digital Media Tax Credit Program in 2018 and expanded it in 2020. The benefits include a 30% tax credit on film projects and a 40% subsidy for studio developments. 222 Manhattan, Manhattan, Manhattan. Manhattan is the most densely populated and geographically smallest of the 5 boroughs of New York City. Coextensive with New York County, Manhattan is the smallest county by area in the U.S. state of New York, located almost entirely on Manhattan Island near the southern tip of the state. Manhattan constitutes the center of the Northeast megalopolis and the urban core of the New York metropolitan area. 7. Manhattan serves as New York City's economic and administrative center and has been described as the cultural, financial, media, and entertainment capital of the world. 8, 9, 10, 11 Present-day Manhattan was originally part of Lenape Territory. 12. European settlement began with the establishment of a trading post by Dutch colonists in 1624 on Manhattan Island. The post was named New Amsterdam in 1626. The territory came under English control in 1664 and were renamed New York after King Charles II of England granted the lands to his brother, the Duke of York. 13. New York, based in present-day Lower Manhattan, served as the capital of the United States from 1785 until 1790. 14. The Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor greeted millions of arriving immigrants in the late 19th century and is a world symbol of the United States and its ideals. 15. Manhattan became a borough during the consolidation of New York City in 1898 and houses New York City Hall, the seat of the city's government. 16. Harlem in Upper Manhattan became the center of what is now known as the cultural Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s. The Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, part of the Stonewall National Monument, is considered the birthplace in 1969 of the modern gay rights movement, cementing Manhattan's central role in LGBTQ culture. 1718, Manhattan was the site of the original World Trade Center, which was destroyed during the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001. Situated on one of the world's largest natural harbors, the borough is bounded by the Hudson, East, and Harlem rivers and includes several small adjacent islands, including Roosevelt, Ufant, and Randall's and Ward's Islands. It also includes the small neighborhood of Marble Hill now on the U.S. mainland. Manhattan Island is divided into 3 informally bounded components, each cutting across the borough's long axis: Lower Manhattan, Midtown, and Upper Manhattan. Manhattan is one of the most densely populated locations in the world, with a 2020 census population of 1,694,250 living in a land area of 22.66 square miles, 58.69 square kilometers, for 19 or 72,918 residents per square mile, 28,150 for residents per square kilometer, and coextensive with New York County. Its residential property has the highest sale price per square foot in the United States. 20 Manhattan is home to Wall Street as well as the world's 2 largest stock exchanges by total market capitalization, the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. 21. Many multinational media conglomerates are based in Manhattan, as are numerous colleges and universities, such as Columbia University, New York University, Rockefeller University, and the City University of New York. The headquarters of the United Nations is located in the Turtle Bay neighborhood of Midtown Manhattan. Manhattan hosts 3 of the world's top 10 most visited tourist attractions: Times Square, Central Park, and Grand Central Terminal. 22. New York Penn Station is the busiest transportation hub in the Western Hemisphere. 23. Chinatown has the highest concentration of Chinese people in the Western Hemisphere. 24. Fifth Avenue has been ranked as the most expensive shopping street in the world, before falling to second in 2024. 25. 26. The borough hosts many prominent bridges, tunnels, and skyscrapers, including the Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, and One World Trade Center. 27. It is also home to the National Basketball Association's New York Knicks and the National Hockey League's New York Rangers. Transportation article: Transportation in New Jersey. New Jersey's population density and location at the geographic center of the Northeast megalopolis have rendered it a vital transportation hub for both passengers and industry. Roadway. See also State highways in New Jersey. Map of New Jersey's major transportation networks and city's George Washington Bridge, connecting Fort Lee Foreground in Bergen County across the Hudson River to New York City. Background is the world's busiest motor vehicle bridge. 238, 239, the New Jersey Turnpike is one of the most prominent and heavily trafficked roadways in the United States. This toll road, which overlaps with Interstate 95 for much of its length, carries traffic between Delaware and New York and up and down the East Coast in general. Commonly referred to as simply the Turnpike, it is known for its numerous rest areas named after prominent New Jerseyans. The Garden State Parkway, or simply the Parkway, carries relatively more in-state traffic than interstate traffic and runs from New Jersey's northern border to its southernmost tip at Cape May. It is the main route that connects the New York metropolitan area to the Jersey Shore. With a total of 15 travel and 6 shoulder lanes, the Driscoll Bridge on the Parkway, spanning the Raritan River in Middlesex County, is the widest motor vehicle bridge in the world by number of lanes, as well as one of the busiest. 240. New Jersey is connected to New York City via various key bridges and tunnels. The double-deck George Washington Bridge carries the heaviest load of motor vehicle traffic of any bridge in the world, at 102 million vehicles per year, across 14 lanes. 238, 239, it connects Fort Lee, New Jersey to the Washington Heights neighborhood of Upper Manhattan, and carries Interstate 95 and U.S. Route 1/9 across the Hudson River. The Lincoln Tunnel connects to Midtown Manhattan, carrying New Jersey Route 495, and the Holland Tunnel connects to Lower Manhattan, carrying Interstate 78. New Jersey is also connected to Staten Island by 3 bridges from north to south: the Bayonne Bridge, the Goethals Bridge, and the Outer Bridge Crossing. New Jersey has interstate compacts with all 3 of its neighboring states: the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the Delaware River Port Authority with Pennsylvania, the Delaware River Joint Toll Bridge Commission with Pennsylvania, and the Delaware River and Bay Authority with Delaware. Operate most of the major transportation routes in and out of the state. Bridge tolls are collected only from traffic exiting the state, with the exception of the private Dingman's Ferry Bridge over the Delaware River, which charges a toll in both directions. It is unlawful for a customer to serve themselves gasoline in New Jersey. It became the last remaining U.S. state where all gas stations are required to sell full-service gasoline to customers at all times in 2016, after Oregon's introduction of restricted self-service gasoline availability took effect. 241. Airports. A NJ Transit train on the Northeast Corridor in Rawaynework Liberty International Airport EWR is one of the busiest airports in the United States. Operated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, it is one of the 3 main airports serving the New York metropolitan area, along with John F. Kennedy International Airport and LaGuardia Airport, which are both in Queens, New York. United Airlines is the airport's largest tenant, operating an entire Terminal C there, which it uses as one of its primary hubs. FedEx Express operates a large cargo terminal at EWR as well. The adjacent Newark Airport Railroad Station provides access to Amtrak and NJ Transit trains along the Northeast Corridor line. To smaller commercial airports, Atlantic City International Airport and rapidly growing Trenton Mercer Airport also operate in other parts of the state. Teterboro Airport in Bergen County and Millville Municipal Airport in Cumberland County are general aviation airports popular with private and corporate aircraft due to their proximity to New York City and the Jersey Shore, respectively. Rail and Bus Mine article. NJ Transit further information. New Jersey Transit Bus Operations, New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, Port Authority Trans-Hudson, Patco Speed Line, and list of New Jersey railroads to Hudson-Bergen light rail trains in Jersey City Cape May Luz. Ferry connects New Jersey and Delaware across Delaware Bay. NJ Transit operates extensive rail and bus service throughout the state. A state-run corporation, it began with the consolidation of several private bus companies in North Jersey in 1979. In the early 1980s, it acquired Conrail's commuter train operations that connected suburban towns to New York City. NJ Transit has 12 rail lines that run through different parts of the state and 165 stations statewide. 242 most of the lines end at either Penn Station in New York City or Hoboken Terminal in Hoboken, although some lines serve service to both terminal stations. One line provides service between Atlantic City and Philadelphia. NJ Transit also operates 3 light rail systems in the state. The Hudson-Bergen Light Rail connects Bayonne to North Bergen through Hoboken and Jersey City. The Newark Light Rail is partially underground and connects downtown Newark with other parts of the city and its suburbs, Beauville and Bloomfield. The River Line connects Trenton and Camden. The PATH is a rapid transit system consisting of 4 lines operated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. It links Hoboken, Jersey City, Harrison, and Newark with New York City. The Patco Speed Line is a rapid transit system that links Camden County to Philadelphia. Both the Patco and the PATH are 2 of only 5 rapid transit systems in the United States to operate 24 hours a day. Amtrak operates numerous long-distance passenger trains in New Jersey, both to and from neighboring states and around the country. In addition to the Newark Airport connection, other major Amtrak railway stations include Trenton Transit Center, Metro Park, and the historic Newark Penn Station. The Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, or SEPTA, has 2 commuter rail lines that operate into New Jersey. The Trenton line terminates at the Trenton Transit Center, and the West Trenton line terminates at the West Trenton Rail Station in Ewing. AirTrain Newark is a monorail connecting the Amtrak NJ Transit Station on the Northeast Corridor to the airport's terminals and parking lots. Some private bus carriers still remain in New Jersey. Most of these carriers operate with state funding to offset losses, and state-owned buses are provided to these carriers, of which Coach USA companies make up the bulk. Other carriers include private charter and tour bus operators that take gamblers from other parts of New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia, and Delaware to the casino resorts of Atlantic City. Ferries New York Waterway has ferry terminals at Belford, Jersey City, Hoboken, Weehawken, and Edgewater, with service to different parts of Manhattan. Liberty Water Taxi in Jersey City has ferries from Paulus Hook and Liberty State Park to Battery Park City in Manhattan. Statue Cruises offer service from Liberty State Park to the Statue of Liberty National Monument, including Ellis Island. Sea Streak offers services from the Raritan Bay Shore to Manhattan, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket. The Delaware River and Bay Authority operates the Cape May Luz Ferry on Delaware Bay, carrying both passengers and vehicles between New Jersey and Delaware as part of US 9. The agency also operates the Forts Ferry Crossing for passengers across the Delaware River. The Delaware River Port Authority operates the Riverlink Ferry between the Camden Waterfront and Penn's Landing in Philadelphia. Culture New Brunswick, nicknamed the Hub City and the Healthcare City, is a focus city for academia, healthcare, and culture in New Jersey. A 1950s-style diner in Oriental, Jersey has continued to play a prominent role as a U.S. cultural nexus. Like every state, New Jersey has its own cuisine, religious communities, museums, and halls of fame. New Jersey is the birthplace of many modern inventions, including FM radio, the motion picture camera, the lithium battery, the light bulb, transistors, and the electric train. Other New Jersey creations include the drive-in movie, the cultivated blueberry, cranberry sauce, the boardwalk, the zipper, the phonograph, saltwater taffy, the dirigible, the seedless watermelon. 243, the first use of a submarine in warfare, and the ice cream cone. 240 for diners are iconic to New Jersey. The state is home to many diner manufacturers and has over 600 diners, more than any other place in the world. 245, New Jersey is the only state to have never had a state song. 246, as of 2021. It is one of only 2 states, the other being Maryland. 247, that are currently without a state song. I'm from New Jersey is incorrectly listed on many websites as being the New Jersey state song, but it was not even a contender when the New Jersey Arts Council submitted state song suggestions to the New Jersey legislature in 1996. 248, New Jersey is frequently the target of jokes in American culture. 249, especially from New York City-based television shows, such as Saturday Night Live. 250, academic Michael Aaron Rockland attributes this to New Yorkers' view that New Jersey is the beginning of Middle America. The New Jersey Turnpike, which runs between 2 major East Coast cities, New York City and Philadelphia, is also cited as a reason, as people who traverse through the state may only see its industrial zones. 251. Reality television shows like Jersey Shore and The Real Housewives of New Jersey have reinforced stereotypical views of New Jersey culture. 252, but Rockland cited The Sopranos and the music of Bruce Springsteen as exporting a more positive image. 251, the new in New Jersey is often omitted in casual conversation. 253, Cuisine Maine article. Cuisine of New Jersey. New Jersey is known for several foods developed within the region, including Taylor ham, also known as pork roll, sloppy Joe sandwiches, tomato pies, saltwater taffy, and Texas wieners. Just as New York City's cuisine has an influence on North Jersey, Philadelphia's cuisine influences South Jersey. New Jersey's third largest industry is food and agriculture, just behind pharmaceuticals and tourism. New Jersey is one of the top 10 producers of blueberries, cranberries, peaches, tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplant, cucumbers, apples, spinach, squash, and asparagus in the United States. Many restaurants in the state offer locally grown ingredients because of this. 250 for Campbell's Soup Company has been headquartered in Camden since 1869. 255. Koya Foods, the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States, operates a corporate headquarters in Jersey City. 256. Mars Wrigley Confectionary's U.S. headquarters has been based in Hackettstown and Newark since 2007. 257. Several states with substantial Italian-American populations take credit for the development of submarine sandwiches, including New Jersey. 258. Sports Maine article. Sports in New Jersey. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, one of only 2 NFL stadiums shared by 2 teams, is home to the New York Giants and New York Jets. New Jersey currently has 6 teams from major professional sports leagues playing in the state, although 1 Major League Soccer team and 2 National Football League teams identify themselves as being from the New York metropolitan area. Major professional sports leagues in the United States and Canada traditionally include for leagues: Major League Baseball (MLB), the National Basketball Association (NBA), the National Football League (NFL), and the National Hockey League (NHL). Other prominent leagues include Major League Soccer (MLS) and the Canadian Football League (CFL), MLB, the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL are commonly referred to as the Big Four. 1. Each of these is the wealthiest professional club competition in its sport worldwide, and along with the English Premier League, they make up the top 5 sports leagues by revenue in the world. To each of the Big Four leagues, as well as MLS and the CFL, averages at least 15,000 fans in attendance per game as of 2024. The NFL has the largest stadiums on average in the world, ranging in capacity from just over 60,000 to almost 100,000 spectators, while MLB ballparks generally hold between 30,000 and 50,000 fans. Venues used primarily by MLS and CFL vary more widely in capacity, from about 20,000 to about 60,000. The 2 indoor leagues, the NHL and NBA, play mostly in arenas that hold 0 to 20,000 seats. There is a significant number of multi-purpose venues that host events in both NFL and MLS 5, 3 CFL and MLS 2. For MLB and MLS 1, 5 and NBA and NHL 11. 6 teams in MLB and the NFL no longer share stadiums, although there are frequent examples of MLB and NFL teams sharing stadiums in the past. The NFL and MLB also play a limited number of annual games in English Premier League stadiums, 7, and the NFL plays a limited number of annual games in stadiums of Germany's Bundesliga, 8, and less often plays games in stadiums of Mexico's Liga MX, 9 Brazil's Brasileiro, 10, and Spain's La Liga. 11 The Big Four leagues currently have 30 to 32 teams each, most of which are concentrated in the most populous metropolitan areas of the United States and Canada. Unlike the promotion and relegation systems used in sports leagues in various other regions around the world, North American sports leagues are closed leagues that maintain the same teams from season to season. Expansion of the league usually occurs by adding newly formed teams, though mergers with competing leagues have also occurred. Baseball, American football, and ice hockey have had professional leagues continuously for over 100 years. Early leagues, such as the National Association of Professional Baseball Players, the Ohio League, and the National Hockey Association formed the basis of the modern MLB, NFL, and NHL, respectively. Basketball was invented in 1891, and its first professional league formed in the 1920s. The Basketball Association of America, founded in 1946, formed the basis of the NBA in 1949 and has lasted for over 75 years. Major League Soccer MLS is a professional soccer league in North America and the highest level of the United States Soccer League system. 2. It comprises 30 teams, with 27 in the United States and 3 in Canada, and is sanctioned by the United States Soccer Federation. 3. MLS is one of the major professional sports leagues in the United States and Canada. The league is headquartered in Midtown Manhattan. The predecessor of MLS was the North American Soccer League, NASL, which existed from 1968 until 1984. 4. MLS was founded in 1993 as part of the United States' successful bid to host the 1994 FIFA World Cup. 5. The inaugural season took place in 1996 with 10 teams. 6. MLS experienced financial and operational struggles in its first few years, losing millions of dollars and folding to teams in 2002. 7. Since then, developments such as the proliferation of soccer-specific stadiums around the league, the implementation of the designated player rule allowing teams to sign star players such as David Beckham and Lionel Messi, and national TV contracts have made MLS profitable. 8. In 2022, with an average attendance of over 21,000 per game, MLS had the 4th highest average attendance of the major professional sports leagues in the United States and Canada, behind the National Football League, NFL, with over 69,000 fans per game. Major League Baseball (MLB) with over 26,000 fans per game, and the Canadian Football League (CFL) with over 21,700 fans per game. 2 years later, MLS was ranked second in the most attended soccer leagues in the world, only trailing the Premier League. 11. The MLS regular season typically starts in late February or early March and runs through mid-October, with each team playing 34 games. 12-13. The team with the best record is awarded. 18 teams compete in the postseason MLS Cup playoffs in late October and November, culminating in the league's championship game, MLS Cup. 14. Instead of operating as an association of independently owned clubs, MLS is a single entity in which each team is owned by the league and individually operated by the league's investors. 15. The league has a fixed membership like most sports leagues in the United States and Canada and Mexico's Liga MX, which makes it one of the few soccer leagues that does not use a promotion and relegation process. 16. The LA Galaxy have the most MLS Cups, with 6. They are tied with DC United for most supporters' shields, with 4 each. Professional Sports Prudential Center in Newark, home of the NHL's New Jersey Devils. National Hockey League's New Jersey Devils, based in Newark at the Prudential Center, is the only major league sports franchise to bear the state's name. Founded in 1974 in Kansas City, Missouri, as the Kansas City Scouts, the team played in Denver, Colorado, as the Colorado Rockies from 1976 until the spring of 1982, when naval architect, businessman, and Jersey City native John J. McCullen purchased, renamed, and moved the franchise to Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford's Meadowlands Sports Complex. While the team was poor to mediocre in Kansas City, Denver, and its first years in New Jersey, qualifying for the playoffs once in the 13 seasons from 1974 to 1987. The Devils ultimately established themselves in the late 1980s and early 1990s during the tenure of Hall of Fame president and general manager Lou Lamoriello. As of 2023, the Devils have appeared in 23 postseasons in 40 seasons in New Jersey, reaching 5 Stanley Cup Finals, most recently in 2012, and winning it in 1995, 2000, and 2003. The organization is the youngest of the 9 Big Four major league teams based in New York metropolitan area, ultimately establishing its core following throughout the northern and central portions of the state and carving a place in a media market once dominated by the New York Rangers and Islanders, which has the distinction of being the only metropolitan area in the country with 3 major league professional sports teams participating in the same sport. In 2018, the Philadelphia Flyers renovated and expanded their training facility, the Virtua Center Flyers Skate Zone, in Voorhees Township in the southern portion of the state. 266, the New York metropolitan areas to National Football League teams. The New York Giants and the New York Jets play at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford's Meadowlands Sports Complex. 267, built for about $1.60 billion. 268. The venue is one of the most expensive stadiums ever built. 269. On February 2, 2014, MetLife Stadium hosted Super Bowl 48. The New York Red Bulls of Major League Soccer play in Sports Illustrated Stadium, a soccer-specific stadium in Harrison across the Passaic River from downtown Newark. On July 27, 2011, Red Bull Arena hosted the 2011 MLS All-Star Game. 270, New Jersey hosted matches during the 1990 FIFA World Cup at Giants Stadium and will be one of 16 cities to host matches during the 2026 FIFA World Cup at MetLife Stadium, which will also host the tournament final. 271, from 1977 to 2012, New Jersey had a National Basketball Association team, the New Jersey Nets. 270, to WNBA's New York Liberty played in New Jersey from 2011 to 2013, while their primary home arena, Madison Square Garden, was undergoing renovations. 273. In 2016, the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA opened their new headquarters and training facility, the Philadelphia 76ers Training Complex, in Camden. 270 for the Meadowlands Sports Complex is home to the Meadowlands Racetrack, one of 3 major harness racing tracks in the state. The Meadowlands Racetrack and Freehold Raceway in Freehold are 2 of the major harness racing tracks in North America. Monmouth Park Racetrack in Oceanport is a popular spot for thoroughbred racing in New Jersey and the Northeast. It hosted the Breeders' Cup in 2007, and its turf course was renovated in preparation. Government and Politics Executive Information. Governor of New Jersey and Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey Phil Murphy D. 56th Governor since January 16, 2018 Tahisha Wade D. 3rd LT. Governor since September 8, 2023. The position of Governor of New Jersey is one of the most powerful in the nation. The governor is elected on a ticket with their lieutenant governor as the only statewide elected executive officials in the state. The governor appoints the entire executive cabinet and judges of the Supreme and Superior Courts. Phil Murphy D. is the governor. The governor's mansion is Drumthwacket, located in Princeton, Mercer County. Before 2010, New Jersey was one of the few states without a lieutenant governor. Republican Kim Godogno was elected the first lieutenant governor of New Jersey on the Republican ticket with Governor Chris Christie and took office on January 19, 2010. The position was created as the result of a constitutional amendment to the New Jersey State Constitution passed by the voters in 2005. Previously, a gubernatorial vacancy would be filled by the president of the New Jersey State Senate as acting governor, thus directing half of the legislative and all of the executive process. Legislative Maine article. New Jersey legislature at design of the golden domed New Jersey State House in Trenton differs from most other U.S. state houses in not resembling the U.S. Capitol. The current version of the New Jersey State Constitution was adopted in 1947. It provides for a bicameral New Jersey legislature consisting of an upper house Senate of 40 members and a lower house General Assembly of 80 members. Each of the 40 legislative districts elects 1 state senator and 2 assembly members. Assembly members are elected for a 2-year term. In all odd-numbered years, state senators are elected in years ending in 1, 3, and 7 and must serve either 4 or 2-year terms. New Jersey is one of only 5 states that elects its state officials in odd-numbered years. The others are Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Virginia. New Jersey holds elections for these offices every 4 years in the year following each federal presidential election year. Judicial Maine article. Judiciary of New Jersey Supreme Court 278 consists of a Chief Justice and 6 Associate Justices. All are appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of a majority of the membership of the state Senate. Justices serve an initial 7-year term, after which they can be reappointed to serve until age 70. Most of the day-to-day work in the New Jersey courts is carried out in the municipal court, where simple traffic tickets, minor criminal offenses, and small civil matters are heard. More serious criminal and civil cases are handled by the Superior Court for each county. All Superior Court judges are appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of a majority of the membership of the state Senate. Each judge serves an initial 7-year term and can be reappointed to serve until age 70. New Jersey's judiciary is unusual in that it still has separate courts of law and equity, like its neighbor Delaware, but unlike most other U.S. states. The New Jersey Superior Court is divided into law and chancery divisions at the trial level. The law division hears both criminal cases and civil lawsuits where the plaintiff's primary remedy is damage, while the chancery division hears family cases, civil suits where the plaintiff's primary remedy is equitable relief, and probate trials. The Superior Court also has an appellate division, which functions as the state's intermediate appellate court. Superior Court judges are assigned to the appellate division by the Chief Justice. There is also a tax court, which is a court of limited jurisdiction. Tax court judges hear appeals of tax decisions made by county boards of taxation. They also hear appeals on decisions made by the Director of the Division of Taxation on such matters as state income, sales and business taxes, and homestead rebates. Appeals from tax court decisions are heard in the Appellate Division of Superior Court. Tax court judges are appointed by the governor for initial terms of 7 years, and upon reappointment are granted tenure until they reach the mandatory retirement age of 70. There are 12 tax court judgeships. Counties. Further information. List of New Jersey counties. New Jersey is divided into 21 counties. 13 date from the colonial era. New Jersey was completely divided into counties by 1692. The present counties were created by dividing the existing ones, most recently Union County in 1857. 279. New Jersey was formerly the only state in the nation where elected county officials were called freeholders. Elected county officials are now called county commissioners as of Bill S-855 signed by Governor Murphy on August 8, 2020. The county commissioners govern each county as part of its own board of chosen county commissioners, 280. The number of county commissioners in each county is determined by referendum and must consist of 3, 5, 7, or 9 members. Depending on the county, the executive and legislative functions may be performed by the Board of County Commissioners or split into separate branches of government. In 16 counties, the county commissioners perform both legislative and executive functions on a commission basis, with each commissioner assigned responsibility for a department or group of departments. In the other 5 counties, Atlantic, Bergen, Essex, Hudson, and Mercer, there is a directly elected county executive who performs the executive functions while the commissioners retain a legislative (ND) oversight role. In counties without an executive, a county administrator or county manager may be hired to perform day-to-day administration of county functions. 281. Municipalities. Further information. List of municipalities in New Jersey. New Jersey currently has 564 municipalities. The most recent dissolution of a municipality was when Pine Valley merged into Pine Hill on January 1, 2022. Unlike other states, all New Jersey land is part of a municipality. In 2008, Governor John Curzini proposed cutting state aid to all towns under 10,000 people to encourage mergers to reduce administrative costs. 282. In May 2009, the Local Unit Alignment Reorganization and Consolidation Commission began a study of about 40 small communities in South Jersey to decide which ones might be good candidates for consolidation. 283. Starting in the 20th century, largely driven by reform-minded goals, a series of 6 modern forms of government was implemented. This began with the Walsh Act, enacted in 1911 by the New Jersey legislature, which provided for a 3- or 5-member commission elected on a nonpartisan basis. This was followed by the 1923 Municipal Manager Law, which offered a nonpartisan council, provided for a weak mayor elected by and from the members of the council, and introduced a council-manager government structure with an appointed manager responsible for the day-to-day administration of municipal affairs. The Faulkner Act, originally enacted in 1950 and substantially amended in 1981, offers for basic plans, mayor-council, council-manager, small municipality, and mayor-council administrator. The Act provides many choices for communities with a preference for a strong executive and professional management of municipal affairs and offers great flexibility in allowing municipalities to select the characteristics of its government, the number of seats on the council, seats selected at large, by wards, or through a combination of both, staggered or concurrent terms of office, and a mayor chosen by the council or elected directly by voters. Most large municipalities and a majority of New Jersey's residents are governed by municipalities with Faulkner Act charters. Municipalities can also formulate their own unique form of government and operate under a special charter with the approval of the New Jersey legislature. 280 for while municipalities retain their names derived from types of government, they may have changed to one of the modern forms of government, or further in the past to one of the other traditional forms, leading to municipalities with formal names quite baffling to the general public. For example, though there are for municipalities that are officially of the village type, none use the village form of government. Lock Arbor and Ridgefield Park now with a Walsh Act form, Ridgewood now with a Faulkner Act council manager charter, and South Orange now operates under a special charter, all migrated to other no and village forms. 285-286. National Park Service areas. The New Jersey Division of Parks and Forestry manages a public park system which consists of over 50 protected areas designated as state parks, state forests, recreation areas, and other properties within the state of New Jersey in the United States. The agency also owns and manages 38 historical sites and buildings throughout the state, some located within the boundaries of state parkland, and also owns 5 public marinas and for public golf courses. These properties are administered by the Division State Park Service, founded in 1923. New Jersey State Park System includes properties as small as the 32-acre 0.13 square kilometers Barnegat Lighthouse State Park and as large as the 115,000-acre 470 square kilometers Wharton State Forest. The state park system comprises 430,928 acres, 1,743.90 square kilometers, roughly 7.7% of New Jersey's land area, and serves over 17.8 million annual visitors. The Appalachian Trail, also called the AT, is a hiking trail in the eastern United States, extending almost 2,200 miles, 3,540 kilometers, between Springer Mountain in Georgia and Mount Katahdin in Maine, and passing through 14 states. 2. The Appalachian Trail Conservancy claims the Appalachian Trail to be the world's longest hiking-only trail. 3. More than 3 million people hike segments of it each year. For the trail was first proposed in 1921 and completed in 1937. Improvements and changes have continued since then. It became the Appalachian National Scenic Trail under the National Trails System Act of 1968. The trail is maintained by 31 trail clubs and multiple partnerships, 5, and managed by the National Park Service, United States Forest Service, and the nonprofit Appalachian Trail Conservancy. 6-7. Most of the trail is in forest or wild lands, but some parts traverse towns, roads, and farms. From south to north it passes through Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Through hikers walk the entire trail in a single season. The number of through hikes per year has increased steadily since 2010, for with 715 northbound and 133 southbound through hikes reported in 2017. 8. The Appalachian Trail Conservancy estimates there are over 3,000 attempts to traverse the entire trail each year, about 25% of which succeed. 9. Many books, documentaries, and websites are dedicated to the pursuit. Some hike from one end to the other, then turn around and through hike the other way. A yo-yo. 10 affiliated trail sections extend from either end from the north as the International Appalachian Trail into Canada and beyond, and from the south as the Eastern Continental Trail into the southeastern states of Alabama and Florida. The Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Pacific Crest Trail informally constitute the Triple Crown of hiking in the United States. 11-12. The Crossroads of the American Revolution National Heritage Area (XRDS) is a federally designated National Heritage Area encompassing portions of 14 counties in New Jersey that were the scene of significant actions in the American Revolutionary War in late 1776 through 1778. 1. The designated area covers the Delaware and Hudson valleys in New Jersey and the central portion of the state between the valleys, where the Continental Army fought forces under British command. The National Heritage Area includes Morristown National Historical Park and sites associated with the Battle of Monmouth, as well as Princeton, New Jersey, the meeting place of the Continental Congress when peace was declared in 1783. 2. At the direction of Congress, the National Park Service studied the national importance of the Revolutionary War resources in New Jersey. In 2000, the United States Secretary of the Interior told Congress that New Jersey met all the requirements for becoming a National Heritage Area. President George W. Bush signed the legislation making XRDS an official heritage area in 2006. Crossroads of the American Revolution Association is a not-for-profit organization created in 2002 in order to increase awareness of the American Revolution in New Jersey. The organization promotes open space, historical preservation, and an enhancement of economic development in New Jersey. The association was designated by the National Park Service as the management entity responsible for the National Heritage Area.